So hello students and viewers, how are you all? I hope all of you are fine and safe. This is your Arindam sir and you are watching Revision Learning. So I hope you have understood about the topic that we have discussed in our last video, in our last session about your constitutional design chapter. In your constitutional design chapter, we have discussed till now about the democratic constitution in South Africa, the struggle against the apartheid system, what was the apartheid system, how it was abolished, and ultimately how a new constitution was formed in South Africa. Everything we have discussed in details. If you had missed that earlier video, you can check that video. I have given the link in the description box. Okay. Today we will discuss why do we need a constitution. Okay. Why or what does the constitution do, and the making of the constitution, how the constitution was made in India. So without wasting any time, let's start our today's session, our today's class. Why do we need a constitution? Before going to this question, if I ask you what is a constitution, then what you will say? You have got some idea from the South African constitution that what is a constitution? So if I directly ask you what is a constitution, then what you will say? It will say that the constitution of a country is a set of written rules that are accepted by all the people of the country, by all the citizens. Constitution is the supreme law, the ultimate law that determines the relationship between the people and the government. Okay, constitution basically can guarantee its citizens social, economical and political justice, the status of equality, equal opportunity, the law and order, freedom of thought, or you can say expression, belief, faith, worship, etc. Everything is being provided by the constitution. So that's why constitution in a country is very important. Now, why do we need a constitution? So you till now you came to know that constitution is a set of written rules that are accepted by all the people living in the country. But like the South African constitution, our constitution was totally different. We have seen lots of struggle while making this constitution. South Africa problem was only the apartheid system. The apartheid regime was only problem with the South African government. But in India, we had lots and lots of problem. Like, first of all, we had to handle with the white government. We had to handle with the British government. Okay. Then in our country, there was a diverse group of population. Diversity was there. Every community was different. Along with the diverse group of population, our constitution was made at the time of the partition. We also had to see the partition of India and Pakistan. So there also lots of problems were there while forming the constitution, like how to accommodate these things, the people who went to Pakistan but were in the Indian side, or some of the people who were in the Peshawar, Lahore, Pakistan side, then came to India. Okay, they inculcated them in the Indian side. So lots and lots of problems are there. Not only that one, some princely states are also there. Some princely states means like Jammu Kashmir, Hyderabad, who initially refused to inculcate themselves with the Indian government. But ultimately, Jawaharlal Nehru and the entire constitution and the entire group, Indian army and all, somehow forcefully, or you can say, they made them bound to join the Indian constitution, to join the Indian provinces. Okay, from the princely states, they joined the Indian provinces. So we have seen lots and lots of problems. So because of these reasons, the formation or the path of formation a constitution, the path of making a constitution was very difficult for we people. Now, why do we need a constitution? If we directly ask this question, then a constitution generates a degree of trust and coordination among the different kind of people. If we have a constitution, then we can easily find out the trust and the coordination. There would be a definitely there would be a trust that these things are written in the constitution. So we have to follow these things, and there would be a kind of coordination among the people. Simply, if there is a written rule, if there are written rules and regulations, and if every people of the country follow that rule, then definitely there would be a great coordination among the people of the country. Second, it specifies how government will be constituted and who will have the power to take the decisions. Ultimately, the constitution will decide that how the government will be constituted. The government will be constituted by the elections. Government will be elected by the citizens of that country, and how the government will take the power, will take the decisions to implement different powers, different law, different acts, so many things. So how the government will make the decisions, how much power the government will have, everything will be decided by the constitution. Okay. The next one is it lays down or it limits the on the powers of the government and tells us what the rights of the citizens are. Constitution also tells us Constitution also limits the powers of the government. It limits the power up to an extent. The government cannot do whatever they want to do. Government also have some limitations, and also it gives some rights to the citizens, like we have the fundamental rights. So like this, it also gives some rights to the citizens, and ultimately it expresses the aspirations of the people about creating a good society. Ultimately, if we follow the constitution, we can aspire that, or all the people of the society can aspire that if we follow all the written rules and regulations properly, then we can create a good society. So these things are so because of these things, we need a constitution. So I hope this is clear to you all that why do we need a constitution. Now, if you go to the making of the Indian constitution, the process of making of the Indian constitution, then definitely just now I told you that Indian constitution was drawn, or Indian constitution was made under very difficult circumstances. Why difficult circumstances? Because the country was born through a partition process on the basis of religious differences. You learned these things in class 8 chapter during after India after independence. In that chapter you have got such type of things. Now India also got the diverse group of population. I told you earlier that we had the diversity. So many communities, so many groups were there, and it was not easy to make a constitution taking everyone under consideration. All the communities, all the people, all the different types of opinions of the people, all the different groups, taking everything into consideration, it was not easy to form a constitution. Another problem was that the problem of integration of the princely states. I also told you this one, that so many princely states were there, and they told that we are not going to join like the princely states. Princely states means the states ruled by the kings. So I also gave you some examples like Jammu Kashmir and Hyderabad. So Jammu Kashmir and Hyderabad had the rights that they either can join the Indian side or they can join the Pakistan side after the partition. So ultimately both of them came to the Indian side. Some of the portions from Jammu Kashmir went to the Pakistan. So these were the problems. When the constitution was written, the future of the country did not look secure as it is today. It was not secure. There was like everyone was in doubt that whether the future of the country or the makers who made the constitution had the anxieties about the present and the future of the country. Okay, so while forming, or you can say the path of the constitution was not that much easy, you can say. But one advantage we had over the South African constitution, if we compare the South African constitution with the Indian constitution, then we had one advantage over the South African constitution. What advantage we had? We had advantage like we had already developed the consensus about what a democratic constitution would look like. How we got that consensus? We got that consensus during our freedom struggle. We got an idea that during our freedom struggle, we got an idea from the British that how a democratic country, or after being a democratic country, how a constitution will look like if we form a constitution. We got this idea during the rule of the British. During this struggle during this Indian freedom struggle, the country, despite of having the differences in the opinions in the groups, they got some idea from the British that how a constitution would look like, and also they were united. We people were united during the time, because there was no Hindus, there was no Muslims, like all people got united. Basically, I'm talking about Hindus and Muslims because majority of the population in the country are Hindus and Muslims only. After that, Sikh are also there, Isai and Christians. So many communities are also there. But still, if we can consider two people, but still we have the diversity, the diverse groups of population. So everyone was united because we all involved us during the Indian freedom struggle. Nobody thought about the communities, the religions. Everyone thought about making the country free from the East India Company, free from the British rule. So this advantage we had. Another advantage was that in the 1928 Motilal Nehru drafted a constitution and made a resolution at the Karachi session about the Indian constitution. Okay. So this was already done in the 1928. And who did this? Motilal Nehru. Motilal Nehru already drafted a constitution drafted an Indian constitution in the Karachi session in 1928 in 1931. In that session, he already drafted. So Motilal Nehru already had or already generated an idea how to form a constitution, how to make a constitution. Okay. Also, we had some familiarity with the provincial legislature elections. The elections were held in the different provinces in 1937. Okay, and from that elections, we also got some idea how to form or how to adopt Indian constitution. Okay. Also, the people who formed constitution were inspired by the French Revolution, Russian Revolution, okay, bills of rights in the US, etc. So from these things, we easily got the idea how to form a constitution that was not there in the case of South African constitution, in the forming of South African constitution. Now, if we come to the Constituent Assembly, then the question is, who are the Constituent Assembly? Okay, so Constituent Assembly means after elections, those people who were elected in the election, they came into this Constituent Assembly to take up new policies, to draft new rules and regulations for the country, to draft a new constitution. Constitution was made by the elected representatives from the provincial legislature elections. Elected representatives were there, and those elected representatives were called the Constituent Assembly. Okay, they formed one assembly which was known as the Constituent Assembly. Elections to the Constituent Assembly were held in July 1946, and the first meeting of the Constituent Assembly was held in December 1946. But soon after, there was the partition of India-Pakistan. So after the partition, there was a division found in the Constituent Assembly. And according to the division, 299 members left on the Indian side, because there were more members, but they went to the that side of the country, on the Pakistan side, after the partition. So when the partition was there, only 299 members were there, and 299 members wrote the Indian Constitution. The assembly, the Constituent Assembly, adopted Constitution on the 26th November 1949, but ultimately it was implemented on 26th January 1950, that we celebrate as the Republic Day. Now, why should we follow this constitution till now? After 70 years of independence, why should we follow this constitution? So, constitution does not reflect the views of its members only, the views of the elected representatives of the Constituent Assembly. It does not reflect only their views. It reflects the general people. It expresses a broad spectrum consensus of its time. It has its legitimacy. Constituent Assembly represented the people, not their own views and opinions were written in the Constitution. Constituent Assembly represented the people of India. They were elected mainly by the provincial legislatures, which ultimately gave us a fair geographical share of the members, or from all the regions, people, or from all the regions of the country. From all the regions of the provincial legislatures, elected members, elected representatives were there, and ultimately they formed the constitution. The Constituent Assembly represented the Indian National Congress also. They represented the different political parties, different political groups, different peoples also, and that's why you can say that in the Constituent Assembly, from people from all the regions, from all over the country were there. So because of this reason, we should follow the constitution, as because the constitution was made keeping in mind the opinion, or keeping in mind keeping in mind about the country, not any particular group or any particular section of the society. Constitution was made for the entire people of the country. Because of this reason, there was a diversity, there was a equality, you can say. The equality was given in the constitution. As constitution, we know that constitution gives equality, social, economical, political justice. Here also, the Indian Constitution, after framing the Indian Constitution, equality was given to each and every section of the society, each and every religious group of the society. And because of this reason, we should follow the Indian Constitution. The head of the Constituent Assembly was Dr. Rajendra Prasad, and the drafting committee chairperson was Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, whom we ultimately call as the father of Indian Constitution. B.R. Ambedkar drafted the Constitution. Everything was done by the drafted and or written by that B.R. Ambedkar. Then more than 2000 times it was changed, it was amended, it was debated for a long time, and ultimately every document, every word, everything that was spoken by the Constituent Assembly members were preserved and recorded, and ultimately the Constitution was implemented on 26 January 1950, our Republic Day. So I hope you have understood about this process of making the Indian Constitution and why do we need a constitution. So students, with this today I have to wrap up this session. I hope everything is clear to you all. If you have any doubts or queries, either you can go through the video or you can share your opinions, share your comments in the comment section below. I will clear your doubts. And if you have liked my explanation, like this video, share it to your friends, and don't forget to subscribe Revision Learning and press the bell icon so that you never miss any of our videos, any of our classes, any of our updates. So students, with this today I have to say you a goodbye. Take care, keep studying, and we'll meet in your next class. In our next video we'll discuss about the guiding values of the Indian Constitution. So take care.